U.S. released videos showing what it said are strikes on targets in Iran as the conflict entered its second week on Saturday. In a post on X on March the 6th, U.S. Central Command released a video that showed numerous strikes on buildings and a vehicle. U.S. forces have struck over 3,000 targets in the first week of Operation Epic Fury, and we are not slowing down, U.S. Central Command said in the post. Iran has described the conflict as an unprovoked attack and the killing of Khamenei as an assassination. With uncertainty growing about when hostilities will end, U.S. President Donald Trump on Friday demanded Tehran's unconditional surrender.
The United States military, together with the wonderful Israeli partners, continues to totally demolish the enemy far ahead of schedule and at levels that people have never seen before, actually. Their Navy is gone. 24 ships in 3 days. That's a lot of ships. And they're calling, they're saying, how do we make a deal? I said, you're being a little bit late. And we want to fight now more than they do.
The conflict between the United States and Iran is escalating rapidly, with Washington now demanding complete capitulation from Tehran. U.S. President Donald Trump has declared there will be no deal with Iran unless it agrees to unconditional surrender. Trump outlined the demand in a message posted on Truth Social as the conflict entered a dangerous new phase. According to the U.S. president, diplomacy is no longer possible unless Tehran fully accepts Washington's terms. He insisted that any negotiations with Iran would begin only after the country agrees to unconditional surrender. The statement comes just a week after the United States joined Israel in launching military strikes against Iranian targets. Trump said Iran's leadership must accept defeat if it wants the conflict to end. He claimed that surrender would open the door to rebuilding Iran with international support. According to Trump, the United States and its allies would help restore Iran's economy after the conflict. The president also suggested that Iran would need new leadership acceptable to Washington and its partners. He said a new government could help stabilize the country and bring peace to the wider region. Trump even coined a slogan for Iran's future, saying the country could one day make Iran great again. The remarks come as fighting intensifies between Iran, Israel, and U.S. forces across the Middle East. Iran has responded to the strikes with waves of missile, and drone attacks targeting regional military bases. Tehran has so far shown no signs of backing down despite the continuing strikes.
And before we begin, I think I will say a few words about what's going on with respect to our operation in the country of Iran. The United States military, together with the wonderful Israeli partners, continues to totally demolish the enemy far ahead of schedule and at levels that people have never seen before, actually. We're destroying more of Iran's missiles and drone capability every single hour, knocking them out like nobody thought was possible. As soon as they set off a missile, within 4 minutes, the launcher gets hit. They don't know what's happening. But we have the greatest military anywhere in the world. Their Navy is gone. 24 ships in 3 days. That's a lot of ships. Their anti-aircraft weapons are gone, so they have no air force, they have no air defense. All of their airplanes are gone. Their communications are gone. Missiles are gone, launches are gone, about 60% and 64% respectively. Other than that, they're doing quite well. I said, what's left? But they're tough, and they want to fight. And they're calling, they're saying, how do we make a deal? I said, you're being a little bit late. And we want to fight now more than they do. We've had 47 years, depending on the way you count it, but 47 years of horror with this group. And, when you see somebody walking down the street without their legs, without the arms, whose face is so badly affected and hurt, it mostly came from 95% Soleimani and Iran, and we, other presidents, lived with it. I didn't live with it. And so our people are doing a great job. Again, the greatest military anyone's seen. Thank you. Thank you very much. And yesterday, my administration announced decisive action to help keep down the oil prices, including offering political risk insurance for tankers transiting into the Gulf, as you know, pretty dangerous territory. Further action to reduce pressure on oil is imminent, and the oil seems to have pretty much stabilized. We had it very low, but I had to take this little detour, if it's okay with everybody. Scott, it's okay with you? Scott's the one who has to put up with it. He said, you have to do this now? I said, I have to do it, Scott, right? But it's been very strong, and everybody, including Scott, everybody feels we had really no choice. They were going to hit us if we didn't hit them, because they're crazy. And in the long term, the actions we're taking will dramatically increase the stability of the region and oil prices and stock markets and everything else. We set the all-time record in history with the Dow going to 50,000. So Dow was at 50,000. It was supposed to be maybe, if we were lucky, within by the end of my presidency in 4 years. And we did it in my first year. We did the S&P 500. We did that in a period of less than a year. And that was even tougher than the Dow, they said, so it wasn't going to happen. But we have a great country. We have a country that's never done this well. We've had tremendous success in so many different ways. I built the military and rebuilt it in my first term, and we're using it more than I'd like to use it, to be honest with you. But when we used it, we found out it certainly did work. When we look at Venezuela, when we look at the first attack, Midnight Hammer, in Iran, which really set the stage for what we're doing right now. It's been pretty amazing. And I'm once again calling on all members of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, the military and the police, to lay down their arms. They're only going to be killed. And now is the time to stand up for the Iranian people and help take back your country. You're going to have a chance after all these years to take back your country. Accept immunity. We'll give you immunity. And we'll be giving you really the right side of history, because that's what it is. So you'll be perfectly safe with total immunity, or you'll face absolutely guaranteed death. And I don't want to see that. They don't want to see it either. We also urge Iranian diplomats around the world to request asylum and to help us shape a new and better Iran with great potential. It's a country with great potential. There's much better future for Iran. It's now beginning. It's going to be, I think, a great future. And the United States will ensure that whoever leads the country next, Iran will not threaten America or its neighbors, Israel, anybody. If you look at what happened, they had missiles aimed at all of these other countries, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, many others, that weren't really involved very much, and they had missiles aimed. Well, they were aimed there long before this ever started. They were going after the entire Middle East, and then we came along. We blew up their party. So we have phenomenal people. I want to thank all of the people that have been involved. Marco, you've been doing a fantastic job.